Hey beautiful souls, and welcome back to the channel. It's Yohika. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you're playing a game but you were never given the rules? Like everyone else has a secret advantage and you're just getting tossed around by circumstances, hoping for a bit of good luck? What if I told you the rule book is real and that for centuries it was kept secret because it was considered too powerful for the average person to handle? Today, we are opening that rulebook. This is the full audiobook of the Kybalion. This isn't just a book, it's an initiation. It is the master key that unlocks the secrets behind the law of attraction, manifestation, and your own incredible power. By the time you finish listening to this, you will understand how to transmute fear into courage, how to stop being a victim of circumstance, and how to become the master architect of your own reality. I am not exaggerating when I say this knowledge can change absolutely everything. So please do this for yourself. Find a place where you won't be disturbed. Put on your headphones, close your eyes, and allow this ancient wisdom to sink in. Don't just listen to the words, feel them. This isn't just another audiobook. This is the beginning of your transformation. Let's begin.
Unlocking Ancient Wisdom, a chapter-by-chapter summary of the Kybalion. Ever feel like you're following all the rules but still losing the game of life? As if everyone else got a secret instruction manual at birth that you never received? What if that manual was real? For centuries, a body of knowledge has been whispered in secret, guarded from the masses, and passed down only to those ready to wield its power. It originated in the mists of ancient Egypt and is said to be the master key that unlocks every religion, philosophy, and self-help program ever created. That knowledge is contained in a small, mysterious book called the Kybalion. This isn't a book, it's a leak of the universe's source code. Written by the anonymous 3 initiates, it doesn't offer feel-good platitudes. It hands you the 7 unbreakable laws of reality, laws that are as real and constant as gravity. This book will reveal the ultimate mind hack, the foundational secret that the universe is a mental creation and your mind is the control panel you've been ignoring. Why luck is a myth. How to stop being a pawn of circumstance and become the cause of the success, wealth, and happiness you desire. The physics of vibes, the science of raising your mental vibration to attract what you want and become immune to negativity. The master technique for emotional control, how to transmute fear into courage, apathy into passion, and hatred into love as easily as turning a dial. Reading the Kybalion is like moving from being a character tossed around in a chaotic story to being the author holding the pen. The problems in your life don't disappear, you simply gain the power to understand and rewrite them. This book finds the people who are ready for it. The fact that you're even hearing about it is a sign. The question is, are you ready to finally read the rules? Your reality is waiting for your instructions. Pick up the key.
Chapter 10. Your Cosmic Cheat Sheet, Hacking Reality with the Kybalion. All right, let's get real for a second. You've probably heard whispers of books that hold the secrets of the universe. Most of them are either unreadable, written by someone who definitely thinks crystals can pay their rent, or so vague they're useless. But the Kybalion is different. Written over a century ago by the mysterious 3 initiates, this little book is like the source code for reality. It doesn't ask you to join a cult or wear special robes. Unless that's your thing, you do you. It simply lays out 7 universal principles, or rules of the game, that govern everything from the orbit of planets to why you can't find your keys when you're stressed. Think of me as your coach. I've read the dense, slightly hard-to-read manual, and now I'm giving you the game plan in plain English. Our goal? To stop being a pawn tossed around by life's challenges and start being the player who knows the rules. Let's break down these cosmic cheat codes. Cheat code number 1, the principle of mentalism. The ancient text says, The all is mind, the universe is mental. Your coach says your reality is a direct reflection of what's happening in your head, period. Think of the universe as a giant, super advanced virtual reality system. Your mind is the controller. The thoughts, beliefs, and stories you run on your mental software are projected outward to create the world you experience. The lesson? How to stop hating your reality. Ever had one of those days where you spill coffee on your shirt, get stuck in traffic, and then your boss is in a mood? You probably thought, the universe is out to get me today. According to this principle, you've got it backward. You likely woke up with a low, stressed-out mental state, and the universe simply reflected it back to you. Overcoming fear? Fear is just a mental program. It's a story you're telling yourself about a future that hasn't happened. When you feel that knot of fear about a presentation, a difficult conversation, or the future, recognize it for what it is, a thought, a powerful one, but just a thought. Your strategy is to change the program. Instead of letting the "what if it goes wrong" loop play, consciously create a new one. I am prepared for this. I am capable. I will handle whatever comes my way. You are literally rewriting the code of your immediate reality. Finding happiness? We're taught that happiness is a result of getting something. The job, the partner, the money. That's a trap. It makes happiness an effect. This principle teaches that happiness is a cause. You don't get happy because things are good. Things get good because you decide to be happy. Your strategy is to find it now. Find one thing to be grateful for. Put on a song that makes you want to dance. Decide that for the next 10 minutes, your inner world will be peaceful. You'll be amazed at how the outer world starts to match.
Cheat code number 2. The principle of correspondence. The ancient text says, "As above, so below. As below, so above." Your coach says, the patterns of your life repeat on every level. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Your messy car isn't just a messy car. It's a reflection of a cluttered mind or a disorganized schedule. Your tiny habit of hitting the snooze button is the same pattern that shows up when you procrastinate on a huge life goal. The lesson: fix the small stuff to win the big game. Feeling overwhelmed by a massive goal, like starting a business or getting healthy? Stop looking at the mountain. Look at the single step in front of you. Achieving goals. If your goal is financial freedom, the above, but your daily reality, the below, is ignoring your bank statements and splurging on impulse buys, the patterns are in conflict. Your strategy is to align the patterns. Start small. Make a budget and stick to it for 1 week. Clean out your wallet. The act of creating order in the small, the below, sends a powerful signal that creates order in the large, the above. Want to write a book? Tidy your desk and write for 15 minutes. The universe sees the pattern and delivers more of it. Cheat code number 3. The principle of vibration. The ancient text says, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Your coach says, you've heard of good vibes and bad vibes, right? This is the science behind it. Everything from your thoughts to your chair to your emotions is just energy vibrating at a different frequency. Fear has a very low, dense vibration. Joy and love have a high, light vibration. The lesson: vibe check your life. You cannot solve a problem with the same vibrational energy that created it. You can't think your way out of anxiety while feeling anxious. Overcoming fear. Fear is a low vibration state. To overcome it, you must change your frequency. You can't just tell yourself, don't be scared, while your whole body is vibrating with panic. Your strategy is a pattern interrupt. Do something physical to change your state. Put on loud, upbeat music and dance like a fool for 2 minutes. Go for a brisk walk. Call that one friend who always makes you laugh. Watch a funny animal video. This isn't about ignoring the problem. It's about shifting your vibration so you can approach the problem from a higher, more powerful state, like courage or clarity.
Cheat code number 4, the principle of polarity. The ancient text says, everything is dual. Everything has its pair of opposites. Your coach says, everything is on a spectrum. Hot and cold are not two different things. They are both temperature, just at different ends of the same stick. The same is true for courage and fear, love and hate, happiness and sadness. The lesson: you're not stuck, you just need to slide. This is one of the most powerful mind hacks there is. You are never stuck in a negative state. You are simply at one end of a pole, and you have the power to mentally slide to the other. Finding happiness. When you're feeling sad, don't fight it. Acknowledge it. Then recognize that sadness is one pole of the happiness spectrum. Your strategy is to use the mental slide. Start by asking, what is one tiny thing that is slightly less sad? Then, what would bring me a moment of peace? Then, what's something I'm grateful for? You are consciously sliding your focus up the pole from despair towards contentment, and eventually towards joy. You don't jump from hate to love, but you can slide from hate to annoyance, to tolerance, to acceptance, to appreciation, to love. Cheat code number 5, the principle of rhythm. The ancient text says, everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. Your coach says, life is a pendulum, it swings. You will have periods of high energy and massive success, and you will have periods of low energy and what feels like failure. This is not a punishment, it's a law of nature, like gravity. The lesson? Learn to surf the waves. People get crushed in life because they think the good times should last forever and the bad times are a personal failure. A master surfer doesn't try to stop the waves, they learn to ride them. Achieving goals and avoiding burnout. When the pendulum is swinging high, you're motivated, creative, and things are clicking, ride that wave. Work hard, but know that the pendulum will eventually swing back. That's your time for rest, reflection, and planning. Don't fight it. If you try to force high productivity during a low-energy swing, you'll burn out. Your strategy is to work with your rhythm, not against it. When you're in a funk, remind yourself, this is the backswing. It's temporary. It's gathering energy for the next forward swing. This perspective transforms frustrating lulls into necessary periods of recharge.
Cheat code number 6, the principle of cause and effect. The ancient text says, every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Your coach says, there is no such thing as luck or chance. You are living in a world of results, effects. Every single result, your health, your bank account, your relationships, is the result of specific causes. Most people live as effects, just getting tossed around by life. The goal is to become a cause. The lesson? Stop wishing and start planting. Want a harvest? You have to plant seeds. It sounds ridiculously simple, but we forget it all the time. We want the effect, a fit body, without putting in the cause, consistent exercise and good nutrition. Achieving any goal, this is the ultimate goal-setting framework. Stop focusing on the goal itself and focus entirely on the causes. Your strategy is to become a causal engineer. Want a promotion? The effect is the new job title. The causes are taking on extra responsibility, documenting your wins, mastering a new skill, and communicating your value to your superiors. Forget the promotion and just execute on the causes. The effect is guaranteed to follow. It's law. Cheat code number 7, the principle of gender. The ancient text says, gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Your coach says, hold on, this isn't about men and women. This is about creative energy. To create anything, a business, a meal, an idea, a solution to a problem, you need 2 types of energy. The feminine principle, the receptive, imaginative, nurturing part, this is the aha moment, the brainstorming, the dream, the period of incubation. And the masculine principle, the active, expressive, willful part. This is the planning, the doing, the executing, the building. The lesson? Balance your inner energies. Ever have a million great ideas but never act on any of them? Or are you always busy, but feel like you're just spinning your wheels with no real vision? You've got an imbalance. Bringing goals to life? Creation is a two-step process. First, you must allow yourself to receive the idea. Be quiet, brainstorm, daydream, nurture the vision, feminine. Your strategy is to then consciously switch to the masculine. Create a step-by-step plan. Take action. Drive it forward into the world. If you just act without a vision, you burn out. If you just dream without acting, you live in fantasy. The magic happens when you let your inner energies dance together.
Your final pep talk. These 7 principles aren't just interesting concepts. They are the levers and dials of your reality. Read them again. Think about them. Start with just one, maybe polarity or vibration, and apply it for a week. The world won't stop throwing challenges at you. But now, you have the cheat codes. You are no longer playing on random. You are playing with the knowledge that you are the one holding the controller. Now go and start creating the game you actually want to play. Chapter 1. The Secret Welcome Party and Why You're on the VIP List. All right, let's kick this off. Before we dive into the deep end of universal laws and mental magic, we need to talk about the invitation you're holding in your hands. Because that's what this book, The Kybalion, really is. It's an invite to a party that's been going on for thousands of years, and your name is finally on the list. Meet the host, the OG of wisdom. First, let's talk about the guy who started it all, Hermes Trismegistus. If ancient wisdom had a rock star hall of fame, this guy would be the headline act every year. They called him the Master of Masters. This wasn't some dude selling essential oils on Instagram. This was the original source, the fountainhead of a philosophy so profound that it has quietly influenced every major religion, philosophy, and self-help movement for centuries. He cracked the code of the universe while everyone else was still trying to figure out how to make better bricks. So, if this stuff is so great, why haven't I heard of it? This is the cool part. The authors of the Kybalion make one thing crystal clear. This knowledge was kept secret for a reason. Think about it. If you discovered a power source that could change everything, would you hand it over to just anyone? Would you give the nuclear codes to a toddler having a tantrum? No way. This wisdom is a form of power, the power to consciously create your reality. In the wrong hands or in the hands of someone not ready for it, it could be misunderstood, abused, or just plain wasted. So the Hermeticists went underground. They shared the wisdom lip to ear, master to student, ensuring it was only given to those who were mature enough to handle it. They didn't have a podcast or a YouTube channel. They had whispers in stone temples and secret handshakes. It was the ultimate if you know club. The lesson? Your readiness is your superpower. Here is the single most important lesson from this entire introductory chapter, and it has everything to do with you. The authors basically look you in the eye and say, the fact that you are even reading this is not an accident. You didn't find this book. It found you. Let that sink in for a second. Every challenge you faced, every moment of frustration where you thought, there has to be a better way to live. Every time you felt like a pawn being pushed around by life, that was your training. That was your soul's boot camp. You are getting yourself ready. A new perspective on your past. Stop looking at your past struggles as failures. They were the curriculum. They were the qualifiers. You passed the test, and now you've been granted access to the teacher's lounge. Your past pain wasn't a punishment. It was the pressure that turned you into a diamond ready to receive this light. Strategy for overcoming fear of the unknown. The biggest fear that holds people back is the fear of stepping outside of what's normal. We're scared of looking weird, of believing in something we can't see, of trusting our own intuition. This chapter tells you to embrace that feeling as a sign of growth. Your readiness means you've outgrown the small container of conventional thinking. The fear you feel isn't a warning sign to turn back. It's the trembling excitement of standing at the door to a bigger reality. Your first act of power is simply to say, okay, I'm ready. Show me. The master key to your goals and happiness. The book describes this philosophy as a master key.
Why? Because it doesn't just open one door, it opens every door. Every other book on happiness, success, or spirituality is like a key to a specific room. This is the skeleton key that unlocks the entire mansion. The lesson here is to stop searching frantically for a dozen different keys. Your search has led you to the source. The path to your goals and your happiness isn't about learning more tricks. It's about understanding the fundamental rules of the game. So as you move forward, hold this one truth close. You are here for a reason. You are not a beginner stumbling in the dark. You are an initiate, ready to receive the wisdom you have earned. Welcome to the party. Let's go see what's on the menu.
Chapter 2. The Universe's User Manual, and why no one gave it to you until now. Okay, pop quiz. When you were born, did anyone hand you a user manual for this thing called life? Did you get a little booklet titled, "So, you're a human, here's how to operate your reality"? No? Me neither. Most of us are just stumbling through life, pushing buttons and pulling levers, wondering why things explode sometimes and why the happiness machine seems permanently out of order. Well, this chapter is that missing manual. The 3 initiates don't mess around. They get straight to the point and lay out the 7 fundamental rules of the game. These aren't suggestions or nice ideas. These are the laws of reality, as fundamental as gravity. The difference is when you trip, you know gravity did it. When your life goes sideways, you usually just blame Mercury in retrograde. The key takeaway is this. Understanding these 7 interconnected principles is like being given the source code to the universe. It's the difference between being a confused player and becoming the master of the game. So let's take a quick peek at your new cosmic cheat sheet. The 7 rules that run everything. Think of this as your high-level mission briefing. We'll dive deep into each one later, but for now, let's just meet the team. The principle of mentalism. The ancient law. The universe is mental. The all is mind. Your coach says, your mind is a movie projector, and the world is the screen. What you play in your head is what you see in your life. Simple as that. The principle of correspondence. The ancient law. As above, so below. As below, so above. Your outer world is a perfect mirror of your inner world. Your messy car, your chaotic schedule, your amazing relationships. They aren't random. They are a direct reflection of what's going on inside you. The principle of vibration. The ancient law. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Your coach says, life is all about the vibes, literally. Every thought, emotion, and thing has a specific frequency. Good vibes and bad vibes aren't hippie nonsense, it's physics. The principle of polarity. The ancient law. Everything is dual. Everything has its pair of opposites. Your coach says, hot and cold aren't 2 different things. They're 2 ends of the same thermometer called temperature. The same goes for fear and courage, love and hate, success and failure. You're never stuck. You can always slide the scale. The principle of rhythm. The ancient law. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. Life is a pendulum, not a straight line. There will be good times and bad times, high energy and low energy. It's a natural law. The secret isn't to stop the pendulum, but to learn how to not get knocked over by the backswing. The principle of cause and effect. The ancient law. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Luck is a myth. Chance is what we call a rule we don't understand yet. You are living in a world of results, effects. The secret to getting the results you want is to stop wishing and start creating the right causes. It's the law. The principle of gender. The ancient law. Gender is in everything. It has its masculine and feminine principles. Your coach says, forget bathrooms. This is about creation. To make anything, a business, a cake, a happy family, you need 2 energies. The feminine, the creative, dreaming, idea-generating part, and the masculine,
the active, doing, building part. Your first coaching session? Putting the rules to work. Seeing them listed is one thing, but how does this help you when you're scared, unhappy, or stuck? On overcoming fear, fear is just a low vibration. It's also just one end of the polarity stick, with courage on the other end. When you feel fear, your strategy isn't to fight it, it's to raise your vibration. Put on music, move your body, and consciously focus on the other end of the pole. You're not denying the fear. You're just choosing to slide the scale toward courage. On finding happiness. We think happiness is an effect we get from outside things. Wrong. Happiness is a cause. It's a high vibration you decide to generate. According to mentalism, your reality reflects your mind. So if you generate the feeling of happiness first, even for a moment, your reality will have to rearrange itself to match. Correspondence. On achieving goals. A goal is an effect. Stop staring at it and start engineering the causes. Use your creative gender principle to dream up the vision, then use your action-oriented gender principle to build a plan and execute it. Your consistent actions will inevitably lead to your desired result. It's the law. Your first mission, should you choose to accept it. For the next 24 hours, just be a principle spotter. Don't try to change anything. Just observe. Notice the rhythm in your energy levels from morning to night. See the polarity in a news story. One person's disaster is another's opportunity. Watch cause and effect in action when someone drinks too much coffee and gets jittery. Cause, effect. Recognize that your grumpy mood, mentalism, is making you see all the red lights on the way to work. Correspondence. This chapter is the roadmap. It shows you where all the hidden highways and secret passages are located. Now it's time to learn how to drive.
Chapter 3. You're the DJ of your own mind. Time to play the hits. Okay, so we've established that the universe is basically one giant mental projection, Chapter 1, and that it runs on a set of predictable rules, Chapter 2. Now we get to the fun part. This chapter is where the 3 initiates hand you the keys to the control room. The big secret? The control room is inside your own head. They call it mental transmutation, which sounds like something you'd need a wizard's degree for. But let's call it what it is. The art of changing your mind. And since your mind is creating your reality, this is actually the art of changing your reality. This isn't just positive thinking. Positive thinking is like putting a smiley face sticker on a sputtering engine. Mental transmutation is getting under the hood, taking out the gunk, and tuning the engine to run like a high-performance machine. The lesson? Your moods aren't facts, they're suggestions. Ever wake up in a bad mood for no reason at all? The sky is gray in your head before you even look out the window. That mood feels so real, so solid, like it's a fact of life. You think, well, guess I'm going to have a crappy day. And then, because the universe is a good little mirror, mentalism, it delivers a crappy day right to your doorstep. Mental transmutation is the art of catching that mood and saying, nope, I reject that suggestion. Think of your mind like a radio. It can tune into all sorts of frequencies. The anxiety and dread FM, the endless reruns of past embarrassment station, or the why is everyone else succeeding channel. Most of us just let the radio play whatever static it lands on. A mental alchemist learns how to grab the dial. Your 3-step guide to becoming a mental DJ. The authors say this is done through focused will and attention. Great. But what does that look like when you're about to give a presentation and your stomach is doing gymnastics? Step 1, the what am I even listening to check. You can't change the station if you don't realize you're listening to garbage. The first step is simple but radical. Pay attention to your own thoughts without judgment. Just notice them. Story time. My friend Alex was perpetually stressed about money. Even when he had enough, his internal radio station was always 99.9 The Poverty Files. He'd be walking his dog on a beautiful day, but in his head, he was listening to the track, What If I Lose My Job? Over and over. He didn't even realize he was doing it. It was just background noise. The first step for him was just to notice, oh, there's that song again. Step 2, the pattern interrupt. aka the mental record scratch. You can't just politely ask a negative thought spiral to stop. You have to jolt it. You have to scratch the record. This is where you use your focused will. Strategy? When you catch yourself doom scrolling in your own brain, do something weird and unexpected. Mentally shout the word pineapple as loud as you can. It's impossible to keep a serious negative thought train going after that. Change your physical state. Stand up, do 3 jumping jacks. Sing the first line of the most ridiculous song you know. The Baby Shark song has probably prevented more mental breakdowns than we can count. The goal isn't to solve the problem, it's to stop the momentum of the negative vibration. Step 3, the conscious transmutation, playing a new song. Now that you've got silence, you use your focused attention to consciously choose a new frequency. This is where the principle of polarity becomes your best friend. Remember, every bad feeling has an opposite on the same scale. Overcoming fear? You've just pineappled your anxiety spiral about an upcoming job interview. You've stopped the "I'm going to fail" track. Now what's the opposite of fear? Courage? Confidence? Preparation? Pick one. Your strategy? Don't try to feel fearless. Just put your attention on the other pole. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do right now that would make me feel 1% more prepared? Maybe it's reviewing your notes. Maybe it's picking out an outfit that makes you feel like a boss. You are taking the lead of fear and transmuting it into the gold of focused action. You have changed the channel from Fear FM to Competence Radio. Finding happiness? You're feeling that familiar gray cloud of blah. You've interrupted it. Now what? Happiness feels too far away. Your strategy? Slide the scale. Don't aim for ecstatic joy. Aim for something one step up from blah. What about appreciation? Ask yourself, what are 3 things in this room right now that I'm genuinely thankful for? Your warm coffee cup, the fact that your chair is comfortable, the sunlight coming through the window. By focusing your attention on gratitude, you are literally transmuting the low vibration of apathy into the higher vibration of contentment. You're building your happiness muscle. Achieving goals? Your internal radio is playing the "I'm an imposter and I'll never finish this project" blues. You interrupt it. Your strategy? Transmute the overwhelming feeling of "I can't" into the focused energy of "I can." How? By focusing on the smallest possible step. The thought isn't, "I will now write a masterpiece." The thought is, "I will now write 1 good sentence." You are transmuting the leaden weight of procrastination into the golden momentum of progress. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about refusing to let your mind be a garbage dump for low vibration thoughts. It's about realizing you have the power to change the station at any moment. You are the DJ. So, what are you going to play next?
Chapter 4. God, the Universe, and the Ultimate Dreamer. Hint, they're all the same thing. Okay, deep breath. We're about to talk about the nature of God and ultimate reality. Now, before you run for the hills picturing stuffy churches or dense philosophy textbooks, forget all that. This isn't about religion. This is about physics, cosmic physics. The 3 initiates introduce a concept here that is the absolute foundation of everything else, the all. What is the all? It's the everything, the whole shebang, the source of all that is, was, or ever will be. It's not a person, not a being sitting on a cloud keeping score. It is the infinite and living mind. And here's the kicker that changes the entire game. The universe and everything in it, including you, exists as a mental creation, a thought held within the mind of the all. The world's best analogy, the dreamer. The easiest way to get your head around this is to think of the all as an infinite, sleeping dreamer. The entire universe, every star, every planet, every puppy, every traffic jam, every single one of your anxieties is a part of its incredibly complex and vivid dream. You are not a separate little being living inside the dream. You are a thought in the mind of the dreamer. You are made of the same stuff as the dreamer, pure consciousness. This is the ultimate expression of the first principle, mentalism. The universe isn't just like a thought, it is a thought. The great paradox, I can't know God, but I can read the script. The book makes a crucial point here. The all in its entirety is unknowable. Trying to understand the infinite mind of the all with our finite human minds would be like a character in a video game trying to understand the emotions and personal life of the game developer who coded them. It's impossible. So, do we just give up? No. Here's the beautiful lesson. You can understand the nature of the dreamer by studying the dream. You want to know what the all is like? Look around. Look at the perfect mathematical spiral of a seashell. Look at the ferocious, protective love of a mother bear. Look at the unbridled joy of a laughing child. Look at the resilience of a weed growing through concrete. All of these are expressions of the dreamer's mind. And most importantly, look within yourself. Your capacity for love, for creativity, for courage, for wisdom, that is a direct piece of the all's consciousness. How to use this cosmic insight when your life feels very, very real. Okay, so the universe is a thought. So what? How does that help when you're facing fear, chasing happiness, or trying to achieve a goal? On overcoming fear. The perspective, your fear, whether it's of public speaking, of failure, of being alone, is a character in the dream. It feels incredibly real and threatening, like a monster in a nightmare. But what is a nightmare monster made of? Nothing. It's a thought form. It has no power over the dreamer unless the dreamer forgets they are dreaming. Your strategy? When you feel that grip of fear, remind yourself of your true nature. Say this to yourself. This fear is a character in the dream. I, however, am a piece of the dreamer. I am made of the same stuff that is creating this entire reality. This fear isn't an illusion, and I am the reality. This isn't about puffing out your chest. It's about remembering your true identity. You're not the scared character. You're a piece of the consciousness that's imagining the whole play. On finding happiness. The perspective. We're taught to find happiness by acquiring things within the dream. More money, a bigger house, a better relationship. This is like a character in a movie thinking they'll be happy if they can just get the fancy prop car. But it's still just a prop. True, lasting happiness doesn't come from manipulating the dream. It comes from aligning yourself with the joy of the dreamer. The dreamer is creating for the sheer joy of creation and experience. Your path to happiness is to do the same. Find joy not in the outcome, but in the process. Find it in the act of painting, not just the finished picture. Find it in the moment-to-moment experience of raising your kids, not just the fantasy of them being perfect. Your happiness is a state of being that comes from recognizing you're a creative force, just like the all. On achieving goals. The perspective. When you feel small, limited, and lacking the resources to achieve your goal, you have forgotten who you are. You're thinking like a character, not the dreamer. A thought in an infinite mind has access to infinite creativity, infinite solutions, and infinite possibilities. Your strategy? When you're stuck on a problem, stop trying to solve it with your limited personal mind. Instead, get quiet and ask for the solution to be revealed. Frame it like this. I am a part of the infinite mind that already contains the perfect solution to this. I am now making myself open to receive it. This shifts you from a state of stressful striving to a powerful allowing. You're not inventing the solution, you're downloading it from the universal mainframe. The lesson of the all is the ultimate reframe. You are not a powerless little human being tossed on the waves of a random chaotic universe. You are a thought, an idea, a beloved expression of an infinite living mind. You are the universe experiencing itself, and that changes everything.
Chapter 5. Your brain is the universe's little sibling, and it's time for it to step up. Have you ever done this? You have a stupid argument with someone. Hours later, you're in the shower completely alone and you're replaying the whole thing. But this time, you're a genius. You're witty. You have the perfect comeback for everything they said. You are crushing it. In that moment, in your head, you've created a tiny temporary universe. It has characters, you and the other person, a setting, the scene of the argument, and a script. It feels real. The emotions you feel, vindication, anger, triumph, are 100% real. Your heart rate might even go up. Congratulations! You've just performed the exact same magic trick that the all uses to create the entire cosmos. You just did it on a much smaller scale. That's the core lesson of this chapter. The universe is a mental creation, and your own mind works on the exact same principles. Think of the all's mind as the master computer running the most advanced simulation ever, reality TM. Your mind? It's like a powerful laptop that's connected to the same network and running a slightly older but still incredibly powerful version of the same operating system. The takeaway is so earth-shattering that it's worth repeating. Because the universe is mental, your mind is not just a weird side effect of being alive. It is your primary tool for interacting with and shaping your experience of the universe. You're not just a character in the video game, you're a user with admin privileges you never knew you had. So what do you do with this newfound superpower? Knowing this is cool, but applying it is where the magic happens. If your reality is shaped by mental creation, then the quality of your mental creations determines the quality of your life. It's time to stop being an accidental creator and start being a deliberate one. On overcoming fear, stop watching horror movies in your head. The perspective. What is fear? It's a negative mental movie that you are producing, directing, and starring in. When you're afraid of failing a test, you're not experiencing failure. You are running a vivid mental simulation of failure. You're watching the movie of yourself getting the bad grade, feeling the shame, and imagining the consequences. And you're playing it on loop. Your strategy. Become the director. You have the power to shout cut and cast a new lead. The moment you catch yourself playing that horror movie, you must actively create a new one. This is the essence of visualization. Close your eyes and run a new simulation. See yourself walking into the test feeling calm and prepared. See yourself knowing the answers. Feel the quiet confidence. See yourself walking out with a sense of relief and accomplishment. You have to make this new mental movie more compelling and more emotionally real than the fear movie. You are using the very mechanism of reality creation, mental images, to your own benefit. On finding happiness, your mind is a vacation destination. The perspective. We're taught to chase happiness out there. We think a new car, a vacation, or a partner's approval will finally make us happy. This is like saying you can only enjoy the beach if you're physically at the beach, but you have a perfect simulation machine in your head. You can access the feeling of happiness right now. My coach's story. I once worked with a woman who was stuck in a dreary job she hated. Her reality felt gray and hopeless. Our first task wasn't to rewrite her resume. It was to have her, for 5 minutes every morning, mentally create her happy place. For her, it was a specific porch swing at her grandmother's old house. She would close her eyes and be there. She'd feel the gentle sway, smell the cut grass, hear the birds. She didn't just think about it, she created it in her mind.
Within weeks, her whole demeanor changed. She hadn't changed her job yet, but by deliberately creating a high-vibration mental state every day, her real world started to reflect it. She became more magnetic, more positive, and opportunities started showing up as if from nowhere. Your strategy? Deliberately create mental images that generate the feeling of happiness. Spend 5 minutes a day visualizing your proudest moment, your most joyful memory, or your ideal future. You are marinating your consciousness in a high vibration. And as we know from the other principles, the universe has to eventually match your signal. On achieving goals, build it in your mind before you build it in the world. The perspective. No architect would ever start building a skyscraper by just throwing bricks and steel together. They start with a detailed, precise blueprint. The blueprint is a mental creation that exists long before the physical building. Your goals are the same. Your strategy: become a mental architect. Whatever your goal is, starting a business, running a marathon, learning an instrument, you must first build it with crystal clarity in your mind. Don't just want to be fit. Create the mental image of yourself easily jogging in the park, feeling the sun on your face, feeling the energy in your legs. Don't just want to be wealthy. Create the mental image of logging into your bank account and feeling a sense of security and freedom. Make the mental blueprint so detailed and so real that the physical construction becomes the easy part. The universe, which is mental in nature, responds to a clear mental blueprint. A vague wish, that's like handing a construction crew a blurry napkin sketch and hoping for the best. This chapter is telling you that your imagination is not a frivolous toy. It is the womb of reality. Everything that exists was first an idea, a thought, a mental image. It's time to stop letting your mental space be a chaotic mess of random fears and wishful thinking and start treating it like the sacred creative studio that it is.
Chapter 6. The Ultimate Mindbender. Playing the game while knowing it's a game. All right, let's be honest. For the last couple of chapters, we've been floating in the cosmic ether, talking about how reality is a big mental dream. It's empowering, it's expansive, and it's a little weird. Because right now, you're not floating in the ether. You're sitting in a chair. That chair feels solid. The screen you're reading this on is real. Your bills are definitely real. If you stand up and try to walk through a wall, you're not going to merge with the cosmos. You're going to get a bump on your head and a weird story to tell. So what gives? Is this whole mental universe thing just a nice idea that falls apart the moment life gets real? This chapter answers with a resounding no, and it does so by introducing the divine paradox, which is the master key to living this philosophy in the real world. Here's the paradox in a nutshell. The universe is both an illusion and a reality at the same time. The world's best analogy. The world's most advanced video game. Imagine you were playing the most immersive virtual reality game ever created. From the perspective of your character in the game, the world is 100% real. The mountains are solid, the dragons are dangerous. If you fall off a cliff, you lose health points. To succeed, your character must respect the rules of the game world. That is its reality. From your perspective, sitting on the couch with the headset on, you know it's all just code and pixels. The dragon isn't a real threat to you, the player. The game's rules don't apply to your living room. You know it is, on an absolute level, an illusion. This is the divine paradox. You are both the character and the player. Your day-to-day self, the one that has to go to work, pay taxes, and deal with traffic, is the character. For this character, the universe is real, and its laws, like gravity and consequences, must be respected. To deny this is foolish. But your higher self, the Hermetic student, the player, knows the ultimate truth. You know it's all a mental construct, a grand play of consciousness. The ultimate lesson here is profound. Wisdom is not about denying the game or trying to escape it. It's about learning to operate as the player while still navigating the world as the character. It's about using your knowledge of the game's code, the higher principles,
to win at the game of life. How to be both the player and the character. This isn't about having a split personality. It's about having two levels of awareness. Here's how you use this paradoxical wisdom to crush your challenges. On overcoming fear. This is a great horror movie, but I'm not in the screen. The perspective. Your character is in a horror movie. The monster, your fear of failure, rejection, etc., is chasing it. The heart is pounding, the palms are sweating. It feels absolutely real. The player, however, is the one watching the movie. The player can feel the thrill and the suspense, but they know the monster can't actually get them. The game's rules don't apply to your living room. You know it is, on an absolute level, an illusion. Your strategy, when you feel fear, first acknowledge the reality of the character's feelings. Wow, this is really scary. My body is reacting as if this is a real threat. Don't deny the feeling. Then, consciously shift to the player's perspective. Say to yourself, okay, now I'm zooming out. I am the awareness watching this fear movie. I know this is a mental construct, a play of shadows. What would the hero of this movie do next? This dual view allows you to feel the fear without being paralyzed by it. You can act bravely as the character because you know, as the player, that your true self is perfectly safe. On finding happiness, stop chasing in-game loot. The perspective. The character believes happiness is found by collecting in-game achievements. The high score, a promotion, the rare item, a luxury car, the perfect partner. It's a never-ending quest for more pixels. The player knows that true joy comes from the experience of playing the game masterfully, not from the loot itself. Your strategy. By all means, play the game. Go for the promotion. Build the business. Find a loving partner. But do it from the player's perspective. Find joy in the process, not just the prize. Find happiness in the clever way you solve a problem at work, in the loving act of making dinner for your family, in the feeling of your feet hitting the pavement on a morning run. The character gets a temporary hit from the achievement. The player feels a constant sense of fulfillment from playing the game well. On achieving goals, using higher laws to master lower ones. The perspective. The character sees a giant wall in front of it and says, well, that's it. Game over. I can't go through walls. The player pulls up the game's rulebook and remembers the principle of vibration or cause and effect. The player says, I can't go through the wall, but I know a higher law that will allow me to go over it. Your strategy. Your goal feels impossible because of a lower law, like I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time. Instead of accepting that reality, you must apply a higher law. The lower law. I don't have the resources. The higher law, mentalism and cause and effect. My focused, clear mental blueprint of success is a powerful cause. By consistently holding this vision and taking small, inspired actions, I will attract the necessary resources, which are the effect. You are not denying the reality of your current bank account. You are simply choosing to operate from a more powerful law that will, in time, change that reality. This chapter gives you permission to be fully human. Feel your feelings, live your life, respect the rules of the physical world. But never forget that you are also the player, holding the controller with full knowledge that this is all a grand, beautiful, and ultimately mental game. And you're here to win.
Chapter 7. The secret ingredient is you, the God spark in your junk drawer. So far, we've established that the universe is a grand mental dream. Chapter 5. Happening within the mind of a great dreamer, the All. Chapter 4. We are characters in that dream. It's a cool idea, but it can also make you feel a bit small. A tiny thought in an infinite mind. A single drop in a cosmic ocean. If you've ever felt like an insignificant cog in a giant, uncaring machine, this perspective might accidentally reinforce that feeling. Well,
This chapter grabs that idea, flips it completely on its head, and reveals the universe's biggest secret. Here it is. While you are a drop in the ocean of the all, the entire ocean is also in your drop. This is the principle of the all in all. It means the divine, creative, infinite essence of the source of all things isn't just out there. A spark of it is in here, in you, in your dog, in the chair you're sitting on, in the annoying guy who cuts you off in traffic, in the smallest grain of sand and the most distant star. The hologram analogy, your cosmic blueprint. This sounds like a paradox, so let's use the best analogy there is, a hologram. If you take a holographic plate, say one that projects an image of a full apple, and you smash it into 100 tiny pieces, what do you get? You don't get 100 tiny pieces of the apple, a bit of stem here, a sliver of skin there. No. If you shine a laser through any single tiny piece, no matter how small, you will see the image of the entire apple. You are a fragment of the universal hologram. You are not just a piece of God or the all. You contain the blueprint of the entire thing within you. Your soul isn't a slice of the pie. It has the whole recipe baked into it. The lesson. Stop seeking, start recognizing. This is the most liberating spiritual lesson you will ever learn. Spiritual development, happiness, and personal power are not about adding something to yourself that you lack. It's not about searching for a missing piece of divinity out there. It is the art of recognizing, awakening, and manifesting the divine power you already possess. Your job isn't to become divine. Your job is to drop the illusions of fear, doubt, and smallness that are hiding the divinity that has been there all along. You don't teach an oak tree how to be an oak tree. You provide the right conditions for it to manifest the oak tree it already is. How to activate your indwelling divinity. This is where it gets incredibly practical. How do you use this knowledge to deal with real-life stuff? On overcoming fear. You're never truly alone or powerless. The perspective. Fear thrives on a sense of separation and vulnerability. It tells you, you are this small, fragile thing, and the world is big and scary. This chapter exposes that as the ultimate lie. You are fundamentally connected to everything, and you contain the power of the whole within you. Your strategy. Dial up your inner all. When you feel that knot of fear, picture that divine spark, that holographic light inside your chest. Acknowledge it. Speak to it. Say, the part of me that is just me is scared, but the part of me that is a reflection of the all knows the way through this. You're shifting your identity from the small, scared character to the all-knowing player. Look at a tree outside your window and think, the same intelligence that knows how to grow that tree from a seed is inside me, and it knows how to handle this situation. This practice dissolves the illusion of separation and replaces it with a feeling of profound support and inner strength. On finding happiness. Your worth is pre-approved. The perspective. We often outsource our happiness, making it dependent on whether other people approve of us, love us, or validate us. We're like one fragment of the hologram trying to get another fragment to tell it that it's a beautiful apple. It's absurd. Your value is inherent and absolute because you contain the essence of the whole. Your strategy. Practice self-recognition. Stand in front of the mirror. Look past the haircut you don't like or the new wrinkle. Try to look into your own eyes and see the light, the consciousness, the spark that is looking back. Hold that gaze for 10 seconds and try to feel a sense of connection with that deeper self. Acknowledge it. There you are. This isn't about vanity. It's about making contact with your own indwelling spirit. The more you recognize your own divine nature, the less you'll need anyone else to validate it for you. Happiness becomes an inside job. On achieving goals, you already have the answers. The perspective. When we face a huge goal, we often feel we lack the wisdom, creativity, or ability to achieve it. We think we need to find the answers out there. This chapter reminds you that you have the entire blueprint within you. The intelligence that designs galaxies is accessible within your own consciousness. Your strategy. Consult your inner oracle. When you're stuck, instead of frantically Googling for answers or stressing out, get quiet. Take a few deep breaths and pose your question inward. Ask, what is the next step that the infinite intelligence within me wants to reveal? Don't force an answer. Just create the quiet space for it to bubble up. The answer might come as a sudden idea, an intuitive nudge to call someone, or a new perspective on the problem. You're shifting from frantic figuring it out to confident allowing it to be revealed. You are tapping into the creative power of the all that resides within you. This changes your identity. You are not a seeker looking for light. You are the light, learning to remember itself.
Chapter 8. Your life is a mirror, and it's time to stop blaming the glass. Let's get brutally honest for a second. Take a quick look around you. I mean, your actual life. Your desk, your car, your bank account, the state of your relationships, the number in your phone you're afraid to call. We tend to see all that stuff as separate, random circumstances. The messy car is because you're busy. The tense relationship is because they are being difficult. The dwindling bank account is because of the economy. This chapter introduces the Hermetic equivalent of a cosmic MRI scan, the principle of correspondence. It's summed up in one of the most famous esoteric phrases ever uttered. As above, so below. As below, so above. What does that even mean? It means your life isn't random. It's a reflection. The patterns repeat on every level. Your physical world, below, is a perfect, undeniable mirror of your inner world, above. They are not separate things. There is a harmony, a direct connection between the different planes of your existence. Let's break them down simply. The spiritual plane, above, this is your core energy, your deepest beliefs about yourself and the world, your connection to the all. It's your fundamental vibe. The mental plane, the middle. This is the world of your thoughts, plans, and blueprints. It's where your core spiritual energy gets shaped into specific ideas and beliefs. The physical plane, below. This is your tangible reality, your body, your health, your home, your job, your money. The stuff you can see and touch. The law of correspondence states that the below is always, without exception, a printout of the middle, which is a printout of the above. The leaky faucet analogy. If you have a water stain on your ceiling, physical plane, you don't fix it by painting over the stain. That's useless. You look up and find the leaky pipe in the floor above, mental plane, and to truly fix it, you find out why the pipe burst. Maybe it was old or the pressure was too high. Spiritual plane. The lesson is this. If you want to understand what's happening in your spiritual and mental life, just look at your physical life. And if you want to change your physical life, you must change your spiritual and mental life. You can't change the reflection without changing the object in the mirror. Using the cosmic mirror to fix your life. This principle is the ultimate tool for self-awareness and deliberate creation. It takes you from being a victim of circumstance to being a cosmic detective. On overcoming fear, finding the source of the shadow. The perspective. Fear feels physical, below.
Your heart pounds, your stomach churns. These are the stains on the ceiling. But they aren't the problem. They are the symptom. Using correspondence, we look up. The physical fear is caused by mental pictures and stories. Middle. I'm going to fail. They will reject me. But where do those stories come from? From a spiritual state of feeling small, separate, and powerless. Your strategy? Fix it at the highest level. Don't just fight the physical panic. Don't just argue with the mental thoughts. Go to the highest plane. The fix is to change your spiritual state. Remind yourself of the truth from chapter 7. The all is in all. You are not small and separate. You are a part of the whole, containing its power. By meditating on this truth, by affirming your connection to the all, you change your above. This new empowered spiritual state creates confident mental pictures, middle, which then creates a calm and capable physical presence, below. You fix the leak and the stain dries up on its own. On finding happiness. Your world is a happiness barometer. The perspective. We think happiness comes from getting the below right, getting the car, the house, the partner. That's like trying to force a smile onto your reflection in the mirror. It's exhausting and it never works. Your strategy: do a correspondence check. Look at your physical world. Is your room a mess? Is your desk piled high with clutter? Is your car full of junk? That is a physical manifestation, below, of a cluttered and chaotic mental state, middle. You want to feel happy, clear, and peaceful? Start with the reflection. Clean your room. Organize your desk. This is not just a chore. It is a powerful, magical act. By imposing order and care on your physical plane, you are sending a powerful command to your mental plane to do the same. Cleaning your space, below, creates mental clarity, middle, which allows for a more joyful spiritual energy to flow through. Happiness follows order. On achieving goals, the ultimate alignment tool. The perspective. Why do most goals fail? Because of a lack of correspondence. We have a goal on the mental plane. I want to start a successful business. But our physical actions, below, consist of watching Netflix, and our spiritual belief, above, is, I'm not good enough to succeed. The planes are in total conflict. The universe is getting 3 different signals, and it defaults to the most powerful one, your core spiritual belief. Your strategy: create total alignment. Write your goal down. Then draw 2 columns next to it. Mental plane. My goal: to run a profitable online store. Physical plane. Below, my actions. List your daily habits. Do they correspond with your goal? If not, what is one small action you can take today to bring them into alignment? Example, spend 30 minutes researching products instead of scroll social media. Spiritual plane. Above, my beliefs. What is your core feeling about this? Be honest. If it's, I'm scared I'll fail, then you've found the real leak. Your work is to use the other principles to shift that spiritual belief to, I am a creator, and I am capable of bringing this vision to life. When your beliefs, your thoughts, and your actions are all in perfect correspondence, singing the same song, the universe has no choice but to manifest your goal. It is law. Stop trying to scrub the mirror. Turn around, look inward, and smile. The reflection will take care of itself.
Chapter 9. The ultimate vibe check and how to pass it every time. Have you ever walked into a room right after an argument and felt like you could cut the tension with a knife? Or have you met someone for the first time and just felt a good vibe from them, an energy that made you feel instantly comfortable? Congratulations! You have already perceived the principle of vibration. This isn't some new age fluffy concept. It is the fundamental physics of the universe, according to the Hermetists. The principle is brutally simple. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The chair you're sitting on? It looks solid, but it's actually a cloud of atoms vibrating at an incredibly dense, slow rate. Light? A super fast vibration?
Your thoughts, they are vibrations too. And here is the secret that unlocks everything. The only difference between a rock, your fear, and a feeling of pure joy is the speed of their vibration. Think of it like the notes on a piano. On one end, you have the low, slow, heavy notes, the vibrations of matter, fear, anger, and shame. On the other end, you have the high, fast, light notes, the vibrations of joy, love, inspiration, and spirit itself. They are all just different frequencies on the same cosmic keyboard. The ultimate lesson here is earth-shattering. You are not stuck with the vibration you've got. You have the ability to consciously change your mental vibration, and by doing so, you change your reality. You are a cosmic DJ, and it's time to learn how to work the turntables. Your practical guide to becoming a master of vibration. This is where the rubber meets the road. Knowing that everything vibrates is cool. Using it to get out of a funk and achieve your dreams is life-changing. On overcoming fear. You can't think your way out of a bad vibe. The perspective. Fear is a very slow, heavy, dense vibration. It feels like being stuck in mud. You can't just tell yourself, I shouldn't be afraid. That's like trying to lift a car by yelling at it. Your logical mind is vibrating at a much higher frequency than the fear, so they aren't even on the same channel. The problem? You cannot solve a low vibration problem with high vibration logic alone. You must first change the vibration itself. Your strategy, the pattern interrupt. You must do something physical to literally shake the low vibration out of your system. This is non-negotiable. When you are caught in a loop of anxiety or fear, you must change your physical state. Blast music. Put on the most high-energy, joyful, or aggressive song you know and move to it. Dance, jump, shadow box, just for 2 minutes. Cold shock. Go to the sink and splash your face with the coldest water you can handle. The physical shock instantly changes your body's vibration. Change your scenery. Walk outside, even for 60 seconds. Feel the air. Look at the sky. Break the physical containment of the room where the fear was brewing. Once you've changed your physical vibration, then your logical mind can get to work, but you have to clear the static first. On finding happiness, tune your radio before you leave the house. The perspective? Happiness is a high-frequency broadcast. It's always playing. Most of us just have our personal radios tuned to a different station, like 98.7 The Gloom, or 101.1 whatever's on. The problem, we wait for an external event, a compliment, a piece of good news, to change the station for us. This makes us passive listeners, dependent on luck. Your strategy? The vibrational warm-up. You have to deliberately tune your mind to the frequency of happiness before the world has a chance to tune it for you. Start your day with a resonance practice. Before you check your phone, before you do anything, take 60 seconds. Close your eyes and think of one thing you are genuinely grateful for. It could be your coffee, your bed, a person, a pet. Don't just think about it. Feel it. Let that feeling of appreciation, which is a high vibration, fill your chest. Try to make the feeling as real as possible. You have just set your vibrational keynote for the day. You've tuned your radio to the gratitude channel. According to the laws of vibration, like attracts like. A mind tuned to gratitude will notice more things to be grateful for throughout the day. You're creating a feedback loop of positivity. On achieving goals, match the frequency of your future self. The perspective, the version of you that has already achieved your goal is vibrating at a very specific frequency, the frequency of confidence, accomplishment, and success. You, right now, might be vibrating at the frequency of doubt, lack, or impatience. There is a vibrational gap. The problem, The universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are, i.e., what you are vibrating. If you are vibrating, I don't have it yet, the universe just gives you more of the not having it experience. Your strategy? The vibrational rehearsal. You must close the gap by generating the feeling of the desired outcome now. This is the real secret behind acting as if. Set aside 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Don't just visualize your goal. Visualize the feeling of having already achieved it. What does it feel like to have that new job? It feels like security, pride, relief. Let your body feel that feeling right now. What does it feel like to have a healthy, energetic body? It feels like vitality, freedom, lightness. Generate that feeling in your cells. By doing this, you are becoming a vibrational match to your desire. You're turning yourself into a powerful magnet, pulling the people, opportunities, and circumstances that resonate with that new frequency into your life. You're not chasing the goal, you are attuning yourself to it until it has no choice but to manifest in your reality.
Chapter 10. Your mind is a thermostat, not a thermometer, the ultimate mind hack. Let's be real. Have you ever been in a funk and had someone say, "Just cheer up"? It's the most useless advice on the planet, right? It's like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk it off. You can't just decide to jump from sad to happy, from terrified to brave. It feels impossible because you think of them as two completely different countries on opposite sides of the world. This chapter reveals the secret. They're not different countries. They're just two ends of the same street. This is the principle of polarity, and it is the single most powerful mind hack in the Kybalion. The law states, everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. But here's the twist that changes everything. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Hot and cold feel like opposites, but what are they? They are both just temperature. There's no magical point where cold stops and hot begins. It's a single sliding scale on a thermometer. The same is true for everything. Love and hate are two poles of relationship. Poverty and wealth are two poles of abundance. And most importantly for your daily life, fear and courage are two poles of the exact same thing, confidence. The lesson is this: you are not a thermometer, passively reporting your emotional temperature. You are a thermostat, with the power to consciously set the dial. You can't instantly jump from 10 degrees to 90 degrees, but you absolutely can start turning the dial up 1 degree at a time. How to become the master of your mental thermostat. This is the art of mental transmutation in action. It's not about fighting a negative state. It's about calmly and deliberately sliding the scale toward the positive one. On overcoming fear, the mental slide. The perspective. Fear is not a monster to be slain. It's just the 0 mark on the confidence ruler. Courage is the 100 mark. They are the same substance. You're just at the wrong end of the stick. The problem. We try to fight fear. We tell ourselves, "Don't be scared, don't be scared." This is like trying to get rid of cold by shouting at the thermometer. It just focuses all your energy on the cold. Your strategy. Master the mental slide. This is a conscious, step-by-step process of shifting your focus up the pole. Acknowledge and accept. Don't fight it. Say, "Okay, I'm feeling fear right now. I'm at the low end of the confidence pole." Noted. This removes all resistance. Identify the opposite pole. The other end of this spectrum is courage. That's your destination. Find the next rung on the ladder. You can't jump from fear to courage, but can you slide from terror to anxiety?
From anxiety to concern? From concern to simple awareness? Real-world example. You're terrified of a public speech. You're at fear. Slide up to awareness. Okay, I am aware I have a speech to give. You're just stating facts now. Slide up to preparation. I'm going to review my notes one more time. You're taking a small action. Slide up to competence. I actually know this topic pretty well. You're focusing on a positive truth. Slide up to confidence. I can do this. You didn't fight the fear. You simply moved your attention, degree by degree, toward the pole of courage. On finding happiness, the 1 degree warmer game. The perspective. Sadness and joy are two ends of the same emotional pole. You're never stuck in sadness. You're just lingering at the colder end of the thermostat. The problem, when we're sad, we think we need a huge external event, like winning the lottery, falling in love, to yank us over to the happy side. Your strategy, just find 1 degree. Don't try to go from depressed to ecstatic. Just ask yourself, what would make me feel just 1 degree warmer emotionally? If you're feeling despair, maybe 1 degree warmer is just numbness. That's a win. If you're feeling blah, maybe 1 degree warmer is curiosity. Put on a documentary. If you're feeling okay, maybe 1 degree warmer is appreciation. Go outside and notice the color of the sky. This is not about faking it. It's about making tiny, deliberate shifts in your focus. By consistently choosing to turn the dial up just 1 degree, you can move yourself from the coldest emotional states to warmth and joy over time without it ever feeling like a monumental, impossible leap. On achieving goals, pivot from lack to plenty. The perspective. Broke and rich are just 2 poles of the wealth spectrum. The problem. When we need money, our entire focus is on the pole of lack. We think, I don't have enough money, I can't afford that, there's never enough money. Our focus keeps us firmly planted at the negative pole. Your strategy. Pivot your focus. Every time you catch yourself thinking a thought from the pole of lack, you must consciously pivot and ask a question from the pole of abundance. When you think, I can't afford this, pivot and ask, how could I afford this? What creative way could I create this value? When you think, I don't have any opportunities, pivot and ask, what is 1 resource I do have right now that I'm not using? Your time, a skill, the internet? You are wrenching your focus away from the empty end of the stick and forcing it to look at the full end. This mental shift changes your vibration and starts attracting the very resources you thought you lacked. You are not the weather. You are not a victim of your emotional climate. You are the one who sets the thermostat. This principle gives you back the controls.
Chapter 11. How to surf the waves of life without wiping out. Ever have one of those weeks where you are on fire? You're waking up energized, crushing your to-do list, your jokes are landing, you clean the whole house. You feel like you finally cracked the code. You think, this is the new me. And then next week, you can't drag yourself out of bed. You're irritable, unmotivated, and the biggest accomplishment of your day is deciding what to watch on Netflix. You think, what happened? I failed. I lost it. This chapter is here to tell you you didn't fail. You just got hit by the backswing. Welcome to the principle of rhythm. The law is simple and unavoidable. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. Life is not a straight line upwards. It is a pendulum. It swings from high to low, from joy to sadness, from high energy to low energy, from success to setback. This isn't a punishment. It's not a flaw. It's a fundamental law of the universe, just like gravity. The seasons change, the tides ebb and flow, and so does your life. Fighting this is as pointless as getting angry at the ocean for having waves. The secret to mastery isn't to try and stop the pendulum. The secret is to learn how to not get knocked on your butt every time it swings back. The lesson: build a lighthouse, don't fight the tides. The book gives a powerful piece of advice. To escape the consequences of the negative swing, you must learn to rise above it by using the law of neutralization. This sounds fancy, but the idea is simple. You don't stop the swing, but you can rise to a higher level of consciousness where you are not affected by it. Imagine your everyday self is a little boat on the ocean. It gets tossed around by every wave, the rhythm. A master of this principle doesn't try to calm the ocean. They build a lighthouse on a high cliff. The lighthouse keeper can watch the storm rage, observe the massive waves, and respect their power, but they are not in the water. They are safe, dry, and holding the light. You do this by using the principle of polarity. You consciously polarize yourself at the higher end of the scale as your higher self or player, creating a mental state that the lower swing of the pendulum can't touch. Your surfing lessons for the rhythms of life. On achieving goals, how to handle the motivation hangover. The perspective. Your motivation and productivity will always swing back and forth. A period of intense focus and action will inevitably be followed by a period of lower energy and integration. This is not you being lazy. It's the pendulum's backswing. The problem is we judge ourselves mercilessly during the backswing. We think we've lost our momentum and we give up, or we try to force productivity and burn out completely. Your strategy is to work with the rhythm, not against it. On the upswing, high tide, ride that wave. When you feel motivated, take massive action, but do it consciously. Know that this energy is temporary. Use this time to not only push projects forward, but also to prepare for the downswing. Set up systems, plan your next steps, and make things easier for your future, less motivated self. On the downswing, low tide. This is not the time for action. It's the time for rest and reflection. Do not make major decisions or judge your life's progress from the bottom of the swing. Your job here is to recharge. Review your plans, read, learn, rest. By accepting this as a necessary part of the cycle, you remove all the guilt and anxiety, and the pendulum is allowed to naturally swing back toward action much faster. On finding happiness, the wisdom of emotional seasons. The perspective. Your emotions are seasons. You will have periods of summer, joy, social energy, and periods of winter, sadness, introspection. We think it's supposed to be summer all year round. When emotional winter comes, we panic. We think something is wrong with us. We fight the sadness, which only makes it feel colder and longer. Your strategy is embrace the season you're in. When you feel the pendulum swing to a lower emotional state, don't resist. Acknowledge it. Winter is here. It's time to be quiet for a bit. Give yourself permission to feel sad or withdrawn. This is your soul's time to hibernate, to process things under the surface. By not fighting it, you allow the rhythm to complete its cycle. You'll find that if you truly allow yourself a day of quiet melancholy without judgment, the pendulum will naturally begin its swing back toward the sun on its own. On overcoming fear, knowing the wave will crest. The perspective. Panic and anxiety often come in waves. They build in intensity, hit a peak, and then naturally recede. It is a rhythmic cycle. When we're on the upswing of a panic wave, we think it will keep getting worse forever. This thought adds fuel to the fire, making the peak higher and more terrifying. Your strategy is become the lighthouse keeper. This is where you anchor yourself in your higher consciousness. When you feel the wave of fear begin to rise, Your job is to observe it, not become it. Mantra. Remind yourself, this is the principle of rhythm. This feeling is a wave. It will rise, it will peak, and it must fall back. I am the observer on the shore. Anchor yourself in your breath. The breath is your anchor in the present moment, the one thing that isn't being tossed around by the emotional storm. By remembering it's a rhythm, you rob the fear of its most powerful weapon, the belief that it's permanent. You can endure any wave if you know for a fact that it is going to break and recede. This principle isn't about avoiding the downs of life. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with them. The downs are not failures. They are the necessary inhalation before the next exhalation. They are the tide pulling back before the next great wave. Learn to rest in the trough, and you'll be ready to ride the crest when it comes.
Chapter 12. How to Stop Being Life's Punching Bag. The End of Bad Luck. Have you ever had a conversation that goes like this? Man, I'm broke again. I just have the worst luck with money. Friend, why do you think that is? I don't know. Things just happen. My car broke down, rent went up, unexpected expenses. It's just random bad luck. Or maybe it's about relationships. I don't know why I always attract drama. It just follows me. This chapter looks at that whole line of thinking, smiles politely, and calls bull. It introduces the sixth and perhaps most brutally honest principle, cause and effect. The law is absolute. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. There is no such thing as chance. There is no such thing as luck. The universe is not a casino. It is a perfectly ordered, infinitely complex chain of dominoes. Chance is simply the word we use for a cause we are too lazy or too blind to see. If you plant an acorn, cause, you get an oak tree, effect. You will never, ever plant an acorn and get a random watermelon. The universe doesn't work that way. And yet, we live our lives planting acorns of distraction, negative self-talk, and inaction. And then we are genuinely shocked when we don't harvest watermelons of success and happiness. The lesson here is the most empowering, and for some, the most terrifying in the entire book. You can either be an effect, a pawn who is helplessly moved by circumstances, or you can choose to become a cause, a player who consciously sets the dominoes in motion. Most of the world lives as an effect. They are the punching bag. Life happens to them. A master of this principle decides to become the one throwing the punches. Your training, from punching bag to heavyweight champion. This is where you take back the steering wheel of your life. It's not about blame. It's about power. On achieving goals, become a causal engineer. The perspective? A goal is an effect. It's the end result. Stop staring at it, wishing for it, and complaining that you don't have it yet. That's like staring at an empty plate and wishing for a gourmet meal to appear. The problem? We focus on the effect, the goal, while completely ignoring the causes, the actions. Your strategy? Reverse engineer the recipe. You must become a causal engineer. Define the effect. Get crystal clear on your goal. I want to be healthy. Identify the causes. What are the non-negotiable causes that produce that effect? Let's brainstorm. Cause, drink more water. Cause, move your body for 30 minutes a day. Cause, eat at least one green vegetable with dinner. Cause, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Execute the causes, ignore the effect. Now, here's the magic. Forget about the goal. Stop worrying about being healthy. Your only job is to obsessively execute the causes. Your job is to drink the water, do the walk, eat the broccoli, and go to bed on time. Why? Because the law is absolute.
If you consistently put the right causes into the system, the effect must appear. It has no choice. You're not hoping to get healthy, you are engineering it. On finding happiness, planting the right seeds. The perspective. Happiness is an effect. Most people think it's the effect of external causes, like, I'll be happy when I get the promotion, or if she texts me back. This makes them a complete effect, a puppet whose strings are pulled by outside events. The problem? We wait for the world to cause our happiness. Your strategy? Be the cause of your own happiness. You must plant happiness seeds yourself. What are the known causes of a good mood? Cause: gratitude. Cause: acts of kindness. Cause: listening to upbeat music. Cause: getting sunlight. Cause: meaningful connection. When you're in a funk, don't wait for it to lift. Introduce a new cause. Say, okay, I'm going to cause a shift. Go buy a coffee for the person behind you in the line. Kindness. Write down 3 things that are going right. Gratitude. Call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Connection. You are refusing to be the effect of your bad mood. You are introducing a new cause that will inevitably produce a new effect. On overcoming fear, interrupt the chain reaction. The perspective? Fear is an effect. What's the cause? Usually, it's a mental image of a future catastrophe, a thought. This thought cause leads to the feeling effect of fear, which leads to the action effect of paralysis. It's a chain reaction. The problem? We get stuck at the end of the chain, paralyzed by the feeling. Your strategy? Introduce a counter cause. Since you're the one in control, you can break the chain at any point by introducing a new, more powerful cause. The best counter cause to fear is action. The fear chain: thought, I'm going to bomb this presentation, to feeling, anxiety, to effect, procrastinating. The counter cause: the moment you feel the anxiety, you introduce a new cause, tiny physical action. Open the document, write 1 slide, tidy your desk where you'll be presenting. This new cause breaks the old chain. The action creates a new feeling of control. This feeling of control is a new cause, which leads to the effect of confidence. You are deliberately starting a new chain reaction that leads to confidence instead of paralysis. This principle is the ultimate statement of personal responsibility and power. It's the understanding that your life, right now, is the sum total of all the causes you have set in motion, whether you did so consciously or unconsciously. And the exciting, liberating news is that you can start putting new causes in motion right now. Stop talking about your bad luck. It doesn't exist. Start talking about the causes you're going to create today.
Chapter 13. The Ultimate Power Couple and How to Get Them to Work for You. Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. The moment you see the word gender in a century-old mystical text, your 21st century brain might brace for something awkward. Relax. This has nothing to do with male and female bodies, social roles, or anything like that. The 3 initiates are talking about cosmic, universal energies. Think of it like the positive and negative terminals on a battery. You need both to create a current. One isn't better than the other. They are 2 different flavors of creative power that are essential for making anything happen. This is the principle of gender, and it states that everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Meet the cosmic power couple. The feminine principle. This is the womb of creation. It is the energy of receiving, nurturing, imagining, and generating. It's the dark, fertile soil. It's the blank canvas. It's the quiet period of brainstorming. It's the aha moment. It is the realm of potential and being. The masculine principle. This is the spark of action. It is the energy of giving out, projecting, acting, and expressing. It is the seed that is planted in the soil. It is the paintbrush that puts the vision onto the canvas. It is the will that executes the plan. It is the realm of manifestation and doing. The key insight is this: no creation, from a universe to a sandwich, can occur without both principles working together. They are the two hands that must come together to applaud. The lesson is that a balanced, powerful life comes from learning to honor and consciously use both of these energies within yourself. Are you a dreamer or a hustler? Diagnosing your imbalance. Most of our frustration in life comes from a massive imbalance between these two principles. See which one sounds like you. The all-feminine dreamer. Are you full of brilliant ideas? Do you have notebooks filled with amazing plans, businesses you want to start, books you want to write? Do you spend hours daydreaming and visualizing a better life, but you never seem to actually start? You are living in the feminine pole. You are all potential, all womb, but the seed of action is never planted. The all-masculine hustler. Are you always busy? Is your calendar packed? Are you constantly working, doing, pushing, striving, but you feel like you're just spinning your wheels? You burn out often and wonder what the point of all your hard work is. You are living in the masculine pole. You are all action, all doing, but you're not connected to a deep, nurturing vision or purpose. The goal is to stop being just a dreamer or a hustler and become a conscious creator. Your practical guide to a sacred partnership. On achieving goals, the two-step creation dance. The perspective. Your goal is a baby waiting to be born. It requires a sacred partnership between your inner feminine and masculine energies. The problem: we either try to act without a clear vision, hustler, or we dream without ever acting, dreamer. Your strategy: the conscious creation process. Step 1, the feminine phase, incubation. This must come first. Before you make a plan or take action, you must give yourself permission to be in the receptive, feminine mode. This is where you get clear on your vision. Actions: brainstorm, journal, meditate, create a vision board. Most importantly, feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Nurture the idea. Fall in love with it. Let it grow in the dark, quiet womb of your mind. Do not rush this phase. Step 2. The masculine phase, execution. Once the idea feels clear, whole, and emotionally charged, it's time to consciously switch gears. Now you bring in the masculine energy. Actions: make a concrete plan. Break the goal down into the smallest possible steps. Set a deadline for the first step. Take a physical action. Send the one-sentence email. Tidy the one corner of your desk. The will is like a muscle. You must activate it for it to grow. When you follow this two-step dance, your actions are no longer empty hustling. They are potent, purposeful, and infused with the power of your vision. On finding happiness, aligning your doing with your being. The perspective: lasting happiness is a state of inner balance, where your actions are a joyful expression of your authentic self. The problem: we feel unhappy when our masculine actions are not aligned with our feminine desires. We take the job for the money, masculine action, when our heart, feminine desire, wants to be creative. Your strategy: the alignment check. Before taking on a new task or commitment, ask yourself this simple question: is this action a true and worthy expression of the vision and feeling I am nurturing within myself? If the answer is yes, proceed with power. If the answer is no, you know it will lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. On overcoming fear and creative blocks. The perspective: fear and blocks are often just a sign of a severe imbalance. The strategy: activate the opposite principle. Feeling paralyzed? Lack of masculine? If you have the vision but are terrified to act, your masculine energy is dormant. The cure is to take one ridiculously small physical action. Don't think, just do. Send the one-sentence email. tidy the one corner of your desk. The will is like a muscle. You must activate it for it to grow. Feeling uninspired? Lack of feminine? If you're burnt out from doing and have no new ideas, writer's block, your feminine energy is depleted. Stop trying to force it. The cure is to engage in receptive activities. Go for a walk in nature. Listen to music. Read a novel. Take a bath. Do something with no goal other than to receive. The inspiration will return when the soil of your mind is fertile again. You are a complete creative circuit. You have both the plug and the outlet within you. The art of living a powerful, effective, and joyful life is learning when to plug in and when to receive the charge.
Chapter 14. Meet the two roommates living in your head and how to stop them from fighting. All right, let's get personal. We've talked about the universal masculine and feminine principles, the doer and the dreamer, the seed and the soil. Now, the book reveals that you have this exact same power couple living inside your consciousness. They are your two mental roommates, and how well they get along determines the entire state of your life. Meet your roommates. The I, this is your masculine principle. It is your will, your conscious self, the part of you that says, I am, I will, I choose. Think of the I as the gardener of your mind. It's the active, directing force. It holds the seeds, thoughts, and decides what gets planted. The me is your feminine principle. It is the receptive, generative part of your mind. It's the part that is acted upon. Think of the me as the garden of your mind. It's the rich, fertile soil that will grow anything you plant in it, without judgment. It doesn't care if you plant a beautiful rose or a toxic weed. Its only job is to generate and grow. The problem? The gardener is asleep on the job. For most of us, our inner gardener, the I, is lazy. It's scrolling on its phone, letting anyone and everyone toss seeds into our beautiful garden. The news throws in seeds of fear. Social media throws in seeds of comparison and inadequacy. A critical comment from a boss or family member becomes a thorny weed of self-doubt. Then we look at the chaotic weed-choked mess in our head, the anxiety, the fear, the limiting beliefs, and we wonder how it got there. The garden, me, didn't do anything wrong. It just grew what was planted. The problem is that the gardener, I, wasn't standing guard at the gate. The key lesson is this. True mental mastery comes when the I takes conscious, loving responsibility for what it allows to be planted in the me. Your guide to being a master gardener of your mind. On achieving goals, deliberate cultivation. The perspective. A goal is a specific, beautiful plant you want to grow in your garden. You can't just hope it appears. You have to cultivate it. The problem. We say, I want to be successful, a vague wish from the I, but we allow our me to be filled with thoughts of, I'm not good enough, it's too hard. We're planting weeds and hoping for a rose. Your strategy, the master gardener's plan. Choose the seed. The I must first get crystal clear on the goal. What does success look, sound, and feel like? Plant with intention. This is where you use your will. You consciously impress this seed upon your me. You do this through focused visualization and affirmations. You say to your me, this is what we are growing now. Weed mercilessly. The I must become a vigilant guardian. The moment a weed thought appears, this is impossible, the I must step in and say, nope, that doesn't get to grow here, and pull it out. Water with action. Every small physical action you take towards your goal is the I watering the seed and telling the me, see, this is real, keep growing it. On overcoming fear, identifying and uprooting the weeds. The perspective. Fear is just a weed that has been allowed to grow for a long time. It has deep roots and has started to take over the garden. The problem: the garden, me, has been generating the feeling of fear because the gardener, I, passively allowed the seeds of doubt and worry to be planted and watered over and over. Your strategy: conscious weeding and replanting. When you feel a spike of fear, your I must wake up and ask, what is the seed thought that is causing this? Identify it. Maybe it's, I'm going to be rejected. Then the I asserts its will. It says, I will no longer give energy to this thought. You consciously pull the weed. Immediately, you must plant a new seed in that empty spot. The I impresses a new thought onto the me. I offer my best and I am open to any outcome. Or, my value is not determined by others' opinions. This takes practice, but you are retraining your I to be an active protector of your mental space. The secret to suggestion, hypnosis, and influence. This chapter gives you the key to understanding how influence works. When one mind influences another, it is simply the I of one person bypassing the lazy I of another and planting a seed directly into their me. Advertising. A commercial's I constantly plants the seed, you will be happy if you buy this car, into your receptive me. If your I isn't standing guard, your me will start to believe it. A negative person, someone with a powerful, negative I, can walk into a room and impress their seeds of gloom onto the me of everyone else, bringing down the mood. A charismatic leader, a person with a powerful, positive I, impresses their seeds of vision and confidence onto the me of their followers, inspiring them to action. Your strategy for mental protection? Your I must become the bouncer at the club door of your mind. When an outside thought or suggestion approaches, your I must stop it and ask, is this thought helpful? Is it true? Does it align with what I want to cultivate in my garden? If the answer is no, you deny it entry. This is how you stop being a mental sponge for the world's negativity and become the sovereign creator of your own inner world.
Chapter 15. Your graduation day. Now go live it. Ever read a self-help book, felt super inspired for 3 days, highlighted a bunch of passages, and then put it on the shelf while your life went back to being exactly the same? Yeah, we all have. The authors of the Kybalion knew this would happen. They knew you'd be buzzing with all this cosmic knowledge about vibrations and polarities, and they knew it could all turn into nothing more than a cool intellectual hobby. This final chapter is a collection of their greatest hits, their most potent truths, all designed to make sure that doesn't happen. It's their final plea to you. Don't just be a student of this philosophy. Be a living, breathing demonstration of it. The ultimate lesson is this. This book is not a magic pill. It is a user manual for a power tool you already own, your mind. Knowledge of the tool is useless. The power comes from the art of using it. Your final cheat sheet, the axioms to live by. Think of these axioms as the things I wish I'd known sooner list from the universe itself. 1. To change your mood or mental state, change your vibration. Your coach says this is the practical summary of the principles of vibration and polarity. Feeling anxious? You're vibrating at the frequency of fear. You can't just think your way out of it. You must act your way out of it. Your strategy? Put on a song that makes you feel like a rock star. Go for a brisk, powerful walk. Do something physical to shake up the snow globe of your energy. You are changing your vibration manually, and your mood has no choice but to follow. It's the fastest way to get out of a mental rut. 2. To destroy an undesirable rate of mental vibration, put into operation the principle of polarity and concentrate upon the opposite pole to which you desire to suppress. Your coach says this is your weed killer for the garden of your mind.
You don't get rid of darkness by shoveling it out of a room. You get rid of it by turning on a light. Your strategy for overcoming fear? When the thought, "I'm going to fail," appears, don't argue with it. That's giving the weed attention. Instead, you must immediately and forcefully concentrate on the opposite pole. Plant a new seed. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to succeed? What is one thing I know for a fact I'm good at? You are withdrawing energy from the failure pole and pouring it into the success pole. This is mental transmutation in its purest form. 3. The possession of knowledge, unless accompanied by a manifestation and expression in action, is like the hoarding of precious metals, a vain and foolish thing. Your coach says this is the ultimate tough love. The universe does not grade you on your notes. It grades you on your actions. Knowing all 7 principles is worth absolutely nothing if you don't use them. It's like having a gym membership but never going. Your strategy for achieving goals? Stop learning and start doing. Pick one principle and apply it for one day. Today, decide you will be the cause, not the effect. The next time something bad happens, instead of complaining, being the effect, ask yourself, what new cause can I introduce right now to change this? Take one small conscious action. That single act is worth more than 1,000 hours of reading. 4. Mind, as well as metals and elements, may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. Your coach says, this is your declaration of freedom. You are never, ever stuck. Your current mood, your current circumstances, your current limiting beliefs, they are not a life sentence. They are a temporary state, like the weather, and you are the one who can change the forecast. Your final word from your coach. You didn't just read a book. You were initiated into an ancient understanding of reality. This knowledge found you because you were ready for it. The challenges and struggles of your past were the entrance exam, and you passed. The central, ultimate lesson of the Kybalion is the transformation from pawn to player. The pawn is an effect. Life happens to the pawn. It is moved by luck, by other people's desires, by the rhythm of the world. It is a victim of circumstance. The master is a cause. The master understands the rules of the game, the 7 principles, and uses them consciously. The master plays with the polarities, surfs the rhythms, and chooses their vibrations. They don't control the board, but they master their own movement on it. This is your moment of choice. You can close the summary and go back to being a pawn, pushed around by the currents of life, occasionally complaining about your bad luck. Or you can take a deep breath, stand up, and decide to be a cause. You can decide to be the master of your own mental states, the gardener of your mind, and the conscious creator of your reality. The game is on. The principles are yours. Now go play.
And with that, the final axiom has been spoken. Take a deep breath. Just let that all settle. You've just received the 7 universal laws that govern all of existence. The keys to the kingdom are now in your hands. The ultimate lesson of the Kybalion is the journey from being a pawn to becoming a player, from being an effect that life happens to becoming a conscious cause that makes life happen. This knowledge is alive, and it will continue to unfold for you in the days and weeks to come. Watch how the world starts to look different. Notice these principles in action all around you. And now I have to ask you, which of the 7 principles hit you the hardest? Which one made you sit up and say, that's it? That's what I've been missing. Please let me know in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear what resonated with you, and I read every single one. I am so incredibly addicted to finding and sharing this kind of life-changing wisdom, and I am so honored to be on this journey with you. If you felt a shift while listening to this audiobook, if you're ready to continue your transformation and unlock more ancient secrets with me, then please show your support.
It would mean the world to me if you would hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and please make sure you ring that notification bell because I post powerful new audiobooks like this every single Saturday, and you don't want to miss the next step on our journey. Thank you for trusting me with your time and your energy today. Go out there and start creating the reality you deserve. Sending you all so much love.